The storm system now a killer. Weather alerts from Texas to Maine, powerful winds, including reported tornadoes. This driver losing control, nearly sliding into oncoming traffic. Trucks overturned. What to expect this wild weather weekend.
Breaking overnight, disastrous mistake. Iran now saying it mistakenly shot down that Ukrainian jetliner, killing 176 people, blaming human error. The mounting evidence the country simply could not deny.
Impeachment timeline. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi ready to move forward and send those articles of impeachment to the Senate. When a trial could start, and will the president let former National Security Advisor John Bolton testify?
Close call. The moment a Russian spy ship nearly collided with a U.S. destroyer. The USS Farragut blasting its horn as the Russian vessel comes within 60 yards of its stern. U.S. military officials calling it aggressive. The Russian ship's next move.
And royal crisis. The Queen and the heirs to the throne in emergency talks with Prince Harry following that bombshell announcement from the Duke and Duchess of Sussex to reduce their roles. What could be behind their decision?
Live from ABC News in New York, this is Good Morning America.
Hey, good morning. We have a lot going on this morning, including a major storm that will be marching through the central and eastern parts of the country this weekend. More than 20 million Americans at risk of severe weather.
We have team coverage of that coming up, but we want to get to breaking news overnight. After days of denials, Iran now says the country did, in fact, shoot down that Ukrainian jetliner unintentionally.
So let's get right to ABC's Stephanie Ramos, who's here with all the details. Stephanie, good morning.
Good morning, guys. The mystery surrounding the downing of that passenger jet in Iran, the night Iran launched attacks toward U.S. bases in Iraq, is now over. Questions remain, though, as Iran is now admitting it accidentally shot down the jet, killing everyone on board.
Breaking overnight, Iran now admitting its air defenses shot down a Ukrainian International Airlines passenger plane after days of denying any responsibility. Iran's president tweeting, its armed forces' internal investigation has concluded that regrettably, missiles fired due to human error caused the horrific crash of the Ukrainian plane and death of 176 innocent people. The passenger plane shot down early Wednesday. Iran now claiming it mistook the Boeing 737 for a hostile target after it turned toward a, quote, sensitive military center of the Revolutionary Guard.
The Iranians have finally admitted what all the evidence has come to tell us, and that is that they inadvertently shot down this aircraft. They've tried to deny, they've tried to cover up evidence, but now the evidence is there in such a strong way that they can no longer deny it.
The plane going down just hours after Iran launched ballistic missiles at 2 military bases in Iraq, housing U.S. troops. That strike in retaliation for the U.S. drone attack that killed Iranian General Qasem Soleimani. U.S. intelligence captured radar signals targeting the Ukrainian jetliner. A satellite saw 2 missiles fired. At least 1 missile exploded into pieces of shrapnel as it approached the jet. What appeared to be shrapnel holes were seen in pictures of the wreckage.
After the killing of General Qasem Soleimani, Iranians rallied around their leaders. You'll remember hundreds of thousands showing up for funeral processions. But now, after Iran's acknowledgement of responsibility for that crash, it is likely to anger Iranians against authorities, many feeling as though they were lied to.
Yeah, we're already seeing reactions on social media from Iranians.
Absolutely.
All right, Stephanie Ramos, thank you. And Iran will be feeling the sting from additional sanctions as well following their strikes on U.S. targets. The administration's announcement comes as the president was pressed for more details on what Qasem Soleimani was planning to do before he was killed. ABC's David Wright is at the White House with more. David, good morning.
Good morning, Whit. Thankfully, tensions seem to have calmed between the Trump administration and Iran, but we're now learning that the deadly U.S. drone strike that killed a top Iranian military commander was just one of several missions the president approved, but Trump is still being coy about exactly what led him to do so. The administration insists the killing of General Qasem Soleimani thwarted an imminent planned attack on Americans. But questioned Friday by Fox News' Laura Ingraham, President Trump still won't say what the specific threat was.
Don't the American people have a right to know what specifically was targeted without revealing methods and sources?
Well, I don't think so, but we will tell you that probably it was going to be the embassy in Baghdad.
Did they have large-scale attacks planned for other embassies? And if those were planned, why can't we reveal that to the American people? Wouldn't that help your case?
I can reveal that I believe it would have been 4 embassies.
Members of Congress complain the administration won't even tell them.
So it's, at this point, in terms of what is in the public domain, difficult to address some of what they contended.
It turns out the Reaper drone strike in Baghdad that killed Soleimani was one of several U.S. missions that day. ABC News has learned that a second drone strike against another Iranian commander in yet another country was unsuccessful. The U.S. targeted Abdul Reza Shalaei at his compound in Yemen, but missed their target. Iran later responded with tens of missiles targeting U.S. bases in Iraq, causing minimal damage and no casualties.
As we continue to evaluate options in response to Iranian aggression, the United States will immediately impose additional punishing economic sanctions on the Iranian regime.
Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin and Secretary of State Mike Pompeo are now making good on that threat with a host of new sanctions against Iran.
As a result of these actions, we will cut off billions of dollars of support to the Iranian regime, and we will continue our enforcement of other entities.
Meanwhile, there are reports that the administration is considering a dramatic expansion of its targeted travel ban, adding additional countries. Not yet clear what those countries would be. Iran and Yemen are already on the list that are currently covered under that policy. Dan?
David Wright at the White House, thank you. We're going to turn now to the breaking story we mentioned at the top of the show, the severe weather overnight, heavy snow and rain falling, and look at this damage from a potential tornado. This is in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We have team coverage this morning. We're going to start with Kaylee Hartung, who's in Oil City, Louisiana. Kaylee.
Good morning, Dan. It was a difficult night here for first responders. After this massive tree came crashing down on this home, deputies found a man trapped inside. But despite their desperate attempts to save him, there was nothing they could do.
Overnight, powerful storms and tornadoes tearing across parts of the country, responsible for at least 1 death. In Louisiana, a tree toppling over, slamming into a home, and killing 1 person inside. Just outside of Tulsa, damaging winds from a possible tornado leaving this home in shreds, ripping the roof off and snapping trees in half. Sirens ringing out in Texas, as powerful storms there also bring tornadoes. In Houston, strong winds destroying this gas station and bringing down its canopy. Also in Texas, this semi was flipped over after a possible tornado passed through. This storm system also creating dangerous flooding conditions. In Dallas, a driver was reportedly killed when their car overturned in a creek. And take a look at this dash cam video, capturing the heart-stopping moments this driver loses control, slamming right into this highway divider. Watch again, the wheel of the car popping off the rim, narrowly missing another driver.
This deadly scene is a tragic example of just how unpredictable these storms can be. You see the roots of this tree here, the size of the tree, it is just jaw-dropping as it split the front of this house off. These storms, unpredictable, and more ahead today. Eva?
I'm thinking of all those people there. Rob is in New Orleans tracking these severe storms. Good morning to you, Rob.
Good morning, Eva. That line of storms is heading this way. We've had 120 reports of severe weather and tornadoes now across 3 states. Here is some of the damage just east of where Kaylee is, just east of Shreveport and Minden, Louisiana, where a reported tornado tore up this car and the roof of this home. And again, this damaging line is moving east. On the northern side of this, I haven't talked much about this, is the ice and snow. This is McPherson, Kansas, where 1/4 inch of freezing rain has been the issue there. And that's going to be a big call as we go through the next 24 hours. All right, here are all the alerts. We got winter storm thunderstorm warnings. We've got severe weather alerts across much of the south and central U.S., and this all stretches up towards the northeast. And this line is moving east now through Lafayette, Louisiana, across into Memphis, and getting towards Nashville. A large line of severe thunderstorms that are warned heading in this direction with a screaming low-level jet, which means any one of these thunderstorms could turn tornadic here in the next 12 hours. So we'll be watching out for that. Eva, back up to you.
All right, thanks, Rob. Now to the impeachment showdown. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi announcing she plans to turn impeachment articles over to the Senate next week. ABC's Kira Phillips joins us with the next steps. Good morning to you, Kira.
Good morning, Eva. Well, the House is set to vote next week, as early as Wednesday, we're told, to send those articles of impeachment against President Trump to the Senate, charging him with abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. Now, for weeks, Speaker Pelosi has been pushing for a fair Senate trial by requesting witnesses and documents that President Trump actually barred from the House impeachment inquiry. And this comes after hearing Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell say he would work with President Trump's legal team to acquit him. So now, even though Pelosi wasn't able to work out a compromise with Republicans about the terms of the trial, Pelosi is saying she's ready to turn over those articles of impeachment, but is still banking on a few moderate Republicans to vote to hear from witnesses like Trump's former national security advisor, John Bolton. Now, President Trump did tell Fox News on Friday that he would likely invoke executive privilege to block Bolton from testifying if called on by the Senate for, quote, the sake of the office. Well, will that work? We're going to have to wait and see. But Bolton did say last week he would testify if subpoenaed, Eva.
All right, Kara Phelps for us in Washington. Dan.
We move on to the campaign trail now, where a new poll gives Senator Bernie Sanders from Vermont the lead over the Democratic field in the key state of Iowa. And ABC's Rachel Scott is right there in Des Moines. Rachel, good morning to you.
Dan, good morning. Yes, this is a sign of momentum for Senator Bernie Sanders in this critical stretch heading into the Iowa caucuses. We are just 23 days out from the first vote, and Senator Sanders slightly edging out his rivals in this new state poll. 20% of likely Democratic caucus goers say he is their first choice in this latest CNN Des Moines Register Mediacom poll. The other frontrunners not falling far behind, though. Senator Elizabeth Warren at 17%. Mayor Pete Buttigieg sliding down to 16%, and former Vice President Joe Biden coming in at 15%, Dan.
Rachel, this is just one poll, we should say that. And it also, this poll gives a sense that this race is still fluid, even though Sanders appears to have the lead in this poll.
Exactly, Dan. Still tons of room for movement here in this final stretch. Nearly half of the Iowa voters that were surveyed in this poll say they could still be persuaded to support a different candidate. Now, this is still a very tight race. Not a single candidate has been able to hold a consistent lead here in Iowa. It's the first time that Sanders has come out on top in this particular poll, but he lost this state by a razor-thin margin back in the 2016 election. And beyond Iowa and other key early voting states, according to recent polls, Biden still has steady support. The rest of the Democratic field, the candidates out making a final push ahead of that next Democratic debate here in Iowa on Tuesday. 13 candidates are still in the race, but only 6 have qualified to be on that stage, Dan.
We're in for an interesting few weeks and potentially an interesting few months. Rachel Scott in Iowa, thank you. Whit, over to you.
Well, Dan, a close call on the Arabian Sea, where U.S. military officials say a Russian spy ship aggressively approached a Navy destroyer, and the two vessels narrowly avoided a collision. Take a look here. The USS Farragut sounded 5 short blasts to warn the Russian ship as it came within 60 yards of its stern, asking for it to change course. The Russian ship initially refusing to veer, but ultimately complying.
Now to the international dispute over the death of a British teen. British officials formally requesting the extradition of a former American diplomat's wife to face charges in the crash that killed that boy. ABC's Mona Kosar Abdi is in Washington with how U.S. officials are responding. Good morning to you.
And good morning, Eva. After months of going back and forth, British officials now say it's up to the U.S. to hold Anne Tsoukalis accountable to answer to her charge for striking and killing Harry Dunn. But this morning, the U.S. maintains she had diplomatic immunity at the time and warned that the extradition request will, quote, establish an extraordinarily troubling precedent.
This morning, British officials are demanding the wife of a former American diplomat who killed a British teen while driving return to face trial. The United Kingdom sending a formal extradition letter Friday to the U.S. government after Ann Tsoukalis was charged with causing death by dangerous driving last month.
Can I have a word with you, please? Will you go back to the UK, Mrs. Tsoukalis?
Tsoukalis has apologized for what she calls a tragic mistake, admitting she was driving on the wrong side of the road when she struck 19-year-old Harry Dunn's motorcycle near an American airbase. According to her legal team, she, quote, stayed on the scene to assist before the ambulance took him to a hospital where he died. But 3 weeks later, Tsoukalis left the UK, claiming diplomatic immunity in the U.S. and sparking a rift between the two countries.
I can't believe she's living with herself doing this. How can you just be like that? Just get on a plane and go.
Dunn's parents have repeatedly called on Tsoukalis to return and face trial, even traveling to Washington to meet with President Trump, but falling short of securing his support. The U.S. State Department maintains that Tsoukalis had diplomatic immunity and called the extradition request, quote, highly inappropriate. But in this latest statement through their lawyer, Dunn's grieving parents calling the formal extradition letter, quote, a huge step toward achieving justice for Harry. Overnight, the attorney for Tsoukalis issued a statement saying, quote, Ann is devastated by this tragic accident and would do anything she could to bring Harry back.
And Tsoukalis is facing up to 14 years in prison if convicted, which her lawyers have said is, quote, simply not a proportionate response. Instead, they say they are willing to work with UK authorities to identify a path forward, Dan.
Mona, thank you very much. Moving on now, prosecutors say a young woman was kidnapped and sexually assaulted by a man who was posing as her rideshare driver. Now authorities say the suspect may be tied to other attacks, and ABC's Marcia Gonzalez has more.
This morning, a man accused of posing as an Uber driver to lure a woman into his car and rape her is under arrest. Police say the victim left a Boston nightclub December 7th, called an Uber, and the driver canceled. Moments later, prosecutors say Alvin Campbell pulled up and called the victim's name.
Which we would argue, or she would argue, made her believe that, in fact, this was the Uber that she had ordered.
Investigators say Campbell then drove the woman more than an hour away to Rhode Island, where she was attacked. Authorities using surveillance video, cell phone records, and DNA to identify Campbell, charging him with rape and kidnapping. His sister, a Boston city councilor, telling ABC News, I am heartbroken, saddened, and devastated by this news. I will continue to pray for the victim. Prosecutors now saying they believe Campbell, who is a convicted felon, may also be linked to 3 other sexual assaults.
This is somebody who we would argue is a sexual predator.
The case coming less than a year after this. 21-year-old Samantha Josephson seen getting into a car she believed was her Uber. But police say the man inside did not work for the company and was allegedly passing by when the University of South Carolina student mistakenly got inside. Her body was found the next day. The suspect later charged with kidnapping and murder. Telling ABC News, we encourage all riders to match the vehicle's license plate, make and model, and the driver's name to the information provided in the Uber app before getting in, and pointing to a feature launched this week sending riders a 4-digit PIN code to verify they have the right car.
And a company spokesperson tells us Campbell was not employed by Uber. He's now being held on a $250,000 bail, and his attorney says he plans to plead not guilty. Whit.
An alarming case. Marcia Gonzalez for us. Thank you. We want to go back to Rob Marciano, who's in New Orleans following that severe weather across the country. Rob.
Good morning, Whit. Damaging winds, snow, ice, rain, a lot of it across the parts of North Texas. Here's video out of Decatur, which is north of Fort Worth. About 3 inches of rain falling there and certainly flooding some roadways. Let's track this storm as it pushes off towards the east, with severe storms here in Louisiana hitting Baton Rouge and New Orleans in the next couple of hours and pushing through Nashville and Atlanta later on this evening. Look at the white across Milwaukee and Chicago. Winter storm warnings up for parts of that area, and probably some big time ice accumulating in through parts of Michigan, and then rain in through the Northeast and I-95 corridor tomorrow morning, and then finally heading out. But the ice and the snow is going to be significant. In Grand Rapids, could see over an inch of ice. That would take down some trees and power lines. Same thing for northern New England, and 3 to 6 inches of snow. And then the rainfall, 4 to 6 inches of rainfall across some soggy spots. So stream and creek flooding, no doubt about that. And the winds are gusty now, and they'll continue to be gusty as this storm pushes east. That's a check on what's happening nationally. It's time now for a look at your local forecast.
Hello and good morning, Washington. On weather alert this weekend. Today, very warm ahead of a cold front, 70 degrees. National Winterfest, yeah, more like Springfest. Breezy warm today. We have that chance for storms tonight. Behind the cold front, mostly sunny by the afternoon, 68 degrees. Now, I wanted to time this out for you. Through our afternoon hours, temperatures into the upper 60s to near 70 degrees. Cloudy skies, maybe some stray showers later on tonight. Better chance for that line of storms between 1 and 6 in the morning.